A lot of times when we solo over a dominant 7 chord, we just go straight to that minor pentatonic scale. It doesn't really give us that major type sound. The major pentatonic kind of works, but there's something that really works quite well. It has that flat 7th in it, as well as that major 3rd. We're going to be using the Mixolydian mode. I'm going to show you 5 licks that use that mode that sound really cool and get you out of that pentatonic rut. Now we're going to be working the key of A today. The Mixolydian mode really is the major scale, but with a flattened 7th. That dominant 7th scale degree really works well over a dominant 7 chord, obviously. So let's jump into the first lick. If you want the tab to everything you see here, plus 10 other licks that you don't see in this video, head over to Patreon. There's a link in the description. There's a 7-day free trial happening at the moment. All right, so this first lick is based around position 1 of the minor pentatonic scale, a position that I love most definitely, but we're gonna be highlighting sort of more of a major, an A7 sound. That's sort of the Mixolydian sound that we're going for. We're gonna start on the minor 3rd, go to the major 3rd, and then pull back off to the minor 3rd, right? So we're gonna go to the root note, perfect 5th, and then the flat 7. So you've got that major or that dominant sound, right? And then we're going to go back to the 5th. And we're going to do a similar move, but from the major 6 to the flat 7. So 4th fret D to the 5th fret, right? So that's the same move that we did before, but starting on the 4th fret D, right? And then we're going to go chromatically down from the 5th, right, to the 4th. Go to the minor 3rd and slide into the major 3rd, giving it that major sound. And we're actually landing that major 3rd on beat 4, right? So it's a real strong major sound. So far we've got this. And then we can go to the root note, 5th, flat 7. You could finish the lick there if you wanted to. But I actually went root note, then minor 3rd, but I'm bending it just a little bit to give it that more major sound, and then landing back on the root note, finishing it on a chord tone, right? This is the full lick. Right, now you could take it down, you don't have to copy the lick. I mean, you don't have to use the lick at all, but you could take it in different places. Let me give you some more options. Right, just different endings can really work well. Now it's also cool to take this lick up the octave. Have a listen to what this sounds like. Right, I've got all these variations tabbed out for the members over on Patreon, but really explore different options with those same interval structures. Here's something where you might mix the octave above and the octave below. Check it out. Right, can sound really cool, almost like a piano player with that easy way of transposing octaves. So really explore those different options. Let's move on to lick 2. All right, this lick is straight Mixolydian, nothing fancy. We're starting on the major 3rd, which is 9th fret of the E string in this case. We're going to slide up to the 4th and then back. Then we're going to go to the root note. Then we're going to go to the flat 7, then the 5th. I like that sound. Right? We're skipping that major 2nd. It's really sort of highlighting a sus 7 sort of arpeggio, right? And then we do that in the octave below. So the the perfect 4th, then the major 3rd, then the root note, and then the flat 7, right? Then you can go to the 5th, then turn around back to the flat 7, and then finish it on the root note if you like. Now there's heaps of variations over on Patreon as to how I end the lick, but that's the main sort of idea with that sort of sus 4 arpeggio, right? Or dominant 7 sus 4. Can sound really cool. Cool to end it like this. Right? right? That's a cool ending. All that stuff is available on Patreon. Let's move on to the third lick. Now there's a whole bunch of other licks that you won't see, like this, and like this. Available over on my Patreon page. If you want to sign up, there's a link in the description. 7-day free trial happening at the moment. Now this lick is just exposing you to a different way of playing arpeggios. I kind of like this. It's kind of fun. You can get a lot of speed out of it because it is just a simple 2-note per string kind of idea. So I'm going to just give you the notes of this lick first. It's really spelling out an A7 arpeggio with a sus4 in one of those octaves. I'll just go from the highest note to the lowest note. 15th fret of the E string, which is our flat 7. Big jump down to 10th fret of the E string. That's the sus4. Major third, which is going to be 14th fret B. 10th fret, which is our root note of that B string, right? So far we've got this. Then we're going to hit the flat 7. The 5th, which is our 9th fret G. The major third, the root note, and then the flat 7. And if you want, you can add the 5th there, just to keep that 2-note per string idea. So that idea is really nice in itself, but in the lick, I play this. I start on the root note, I go up to the major third, the 4th, and then up to the highest note in the sequence that I showed you, which is the flat 7. And then I go back down, land on the flat 7, and then I ascend 2 notes, root note, major third. Right, so far we've got this. And then I go back down to the major third, ascend 2 notes, and then go back down to the flat 7. And then you could end it on the root note if you wanted to, right? So we've got this. Nice idea, right? So really mess around with the rhythm. You could do triplets. And you don't have to follow the full pattern. You can really make it your own. I do have a bunch of variations over on Patreon where I'm doing different ideas. Like check this one out. That's a really nice idea, sort of almost Bonamassa inspired if you've seen my other Bonamassa videos. That kind of sequence I stole from the pentatonic ideas that he does. And let's move on to the next lick. All right, this one's pretty cool. It's sort of chicken picking inspired, I guess. I love seeing guys do this kind of lick, so I'm gonna show you what's going on. Now, I'm gonna show you, I think I'm gonna show you the shapes first and then the general concept. So we're actually playing sort of like a harmonized Mixolydian scale, right? This kind of idea. Sounds really nice and it's easy to get under the fingers. So let me just show you that. We've got the major third and then we've got the root note. And if you just visualize the scale, this is why knowing your scale shapes is really important. If you just visualize the scale descending down 1 scale degree each string, so from the root note to the flat 7, and then from the major third to the second, that's the idea. Right, and then go down 1 scale degree, so from the flat 7 to the 6th, and then from the 2nd to the root note, right? And then we'll slide that shape down 2 more frets, go back to the original sort of shape where there's a fret gap in the middle, so that's the 4th and the 6th, and then the 3rd, and then the 5th, right? And you can even keep going. It's a good way to practice your scales as well, right? You can even add on that extra string if you wanted to, right? Get some interesting sounds, right? But the lick in itself takes those shapes, and I'm actually pulling off to the open G string because it's in the key of A, right? It's our flat 7. And then I do that on the next shape down. Same thing. And there is a bit of palm muting involved. Right? And it's up to you how far you want to take it, right? That's a nice little idea there, going for the minor third to the major third, and then hitting the root note, right? almost country inspired, right? But it sounds really nice over that A7. And I am actually hybrid picking the G string, right? Right, so really experiment with that. It works really well. So in the lick you saw, I actually descend down to the major third. And then I start playing some lines in that sort of mixolydian area. Right? Now, if you do want to dig deeper on the exact ending that I did, it's all on Patreon. But really, that main concept is so fun to get happening and works really well in the key of A. Let's move on to the next lick. This one's kind of Motown inspired, I guess. I really dig these intervals. Let me show you exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to show you the shapes first. There's groups of two, really. This is how I imagine it. We've got 14th fret of the G string and then 14th fret of the E, right? That's a root note, and the 6th. And I'm sliding into the G string note, right? And then I'm hitting the E string, and then I'm sliding down to the second shape, which I'll show you. It's actually just going to be the same thing, but 2 frets lower, right? Really sort of Motown, you know, R&B inspired. Then I'm just realizing this all over the fretboard, right? So you could go, same thing happens on the 9th fret of both strings, right? And this is just really harmonized sort of major and minor 6th. Right, that kind of thing, etc. Go down and down the scale. But the idea is that I'm really choosing, just so it's easy, I'm choosing shapes that fit well under my fingers. So there's the first one. The next one's from the 9th to the 7th fret. Right, and then you can do this shape, which is going from the major 2nd, which is C sharp, that's the 4th fret G, sliding into the major 3rd, hitting the root note, and then sliding down 2 frets, which sort of highlights a G chord, which is like A9 if you're theory inclined, right? So far we've got this. And then the last one I think I did is from the flat 7 to the root note to the 6th, sliding down to the flat 7 and the 5th, right? So the whole thing is this. And then I think I ended it like this. That's the perfect 4th to the 5th, then the 2nd, give it some attitude, and then land on the root note. Etc. Right? The main concept is that kind of Motown major 6 or minor 6 kind of interval structure there. I hope you got something out of this video. As I said before, everything including tab as well as extended solos are available over on Patreon. Link is in the description. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. See you on the next one. Cheers.